Hello and welcome back to the KCC channel. I'm Rob and I hope you are having a wonderful day today. Today I have an epic story for you, one that goes across a bunch of different subreddits. We start out in relationship advice, we hit surviving infidelity, and then we hit true off our chest. And at the end, there is a twist where the other girl comments on OP's post. Before we start, if you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button. It's completely free and you can always change your mind later. But if you stick around, my friend Carmen here just might have some cookies for you in the near future. Alright, let's jump into this epic story. This story comes to us from ThrowRA629-46294. I, 26 female, am uncomfortable with the relationship between my fiance, 28 male, and his best friend and bandmate, 27 female. And I think it may have ruined our chance of being together. I've been with my fiance Joe for a couple of years now. We have a great relationship. He's funny and talented, and we have a lot of fun together. But there's always been one big issue: Natalie. Joe and Nat are really close friends. It borders on unhealthy codependency for sure. When we met, they were living together too. But she was out of the country, so I didn't meet her until we'd been together a couple months. They also work together, artists and musicians. When we started dating, Joe gave me a disclaimer about them and their close relationship, but I didn't really know what I was getting into. Once I met her, I understood it. She's the prettiest person I've ever seen in my life. I heard a lot about her, but no one told me she looked like an effing supermodel. It was jarring too, because Joe is just average. They started writing music again together and performing, which meant a lot of time alone. I also was under the impression that their band involved multiple people, but it's just the two of them. Natalie always invited me for practice and whatnot, but to be honest, being around them made me feel like a third wheel. Then I saw them perform, and for some reason, they decided to cover the duet from the Dewey Cox story, which felt like a slap in the face to me, especially given the context of the movie. It's not even their genre. And I was extra upset because there's that line, "You can always come in my back door," and we have issues because I don't like that. And she even bent over and gave a little wink, and it made me so effing mad. Joe laughed it off and said the song was funny and gets a good crowd response. And also, they're affectionate. I mean, they're not kissing each other, but always close. Well, anyway, she ended up traveling a lot for a long period of time for some good career opportunity. I had to talk Joe out of joining her, and things got a lot better with us. We even got engaged, and it was going great. Then, for Christmas, we went to his home country so I could meet his family. And things went sideways as F. First off, Nat was in every family photo, going back years. Then, his mom was asking about Nat and later saying she was going to be out to visit next week. Joe had a bit too much to drink at this point and got emotional about that, saying he wished he would have known because he would have changed our plans. I pulled him aside and told him I wasn't comfortable with how intertwined she was with his family, especially if we were going to get married. I asked if something could be done about that, and he laughed in my face and told me that I could be the one to try to bring that up with his mom. So I did, and his mom looked at me like I slapped her, and then the whole family got upset. Joe got really mad at me and we left. Apparently, she was a foreign exchange student or something, and they were immediately best friends. They were weird kids and didn't have other friends before each other. Every year, they alternated staying with their families between Ireland and Germany. I never knew about this, but there were things, like we were watching a movie once and a character was speaking German and Joe was able to translate. When I asked him why the F he speaks German, he gave me a weird look and was like, "Yeah, that's where Nat is from." Then, when they were teenagers and the two were in Ireland, Nat's family was killed back in her country, and so she stayed there with his family until they moved out together. And they've basically been side by side for 15 plus years. They lived together and went to school together, and then lived together and worked together since they were like 12. Apparently, there was one school year their parents decided not to put them together, and they both reacted so hostile and began acting out with crime and drugs that their parents gave in. I don't know why I didn't know this and started to wonder what else. Asked if they slept together, and yes, they sure did. About 6 years ago for like a year. Then, one night, Nat kissed a guy, and Joe beat the crap out of him. They got in a fight and decided Nookies was complicating things, and then just stopped. But then, they also hooked up a few times since. I freaked out. After all the "she's like my sister" bullcrap, Joe insisted it didn't mean anything, but WTF. He kept saying it was purely physical and there were no feelings, but if there weren't feelings, how did things get complicated then? Well, regardless, we managed to talk it out, but didn't go back to his parents. He argued that they were barely even friends anymore since he hasn't seen her in so long, and I did such a good job tearing them apart. I told him he asked me to marry him and should act like it. We fought for like 3 days until he got sick of it. Last week, he gets a call from her. I hear him get upset and argue, then he starts to leave. I ask him WTF. He just said Natalie's in trouble and he needs to go to her and leaves. Just hopped on a plane and left, just like that. If I wouldn't have asked, he probably wouldn't have even said a word to me. So naturally, I was pissed. And I started drinking and sent some angry messages. And I basically told him that if he was going to leave like that and run to her, he made it clear he was choosing her over me, and he shouldn't bother coming home. His response was just okay, and that he would come back soon to get his stuff, which really pissed me off. Well, yesterday, I talked to our mutual friend Chloe, who told me that Natalie was in a bad situation and called Joe from the hospital. I felt kinda bad then and wondered why Joe didn't tell me that detail, so I called him. It wasn't a good conversation. I told him I understood why he left, but since she's okay now, he should come home. He disagreed and effing flipped out on me. Said that if I didn't keep them apart and put distance between them, she might have opened up to him about the crap she was dealing with, and he could have helped. He called me manipulative and jealous. I do feel bad, but I still think I didn't do anything that bad. Chloe told me she'd be surprised if Joe wants to work things out. I love him, but this situation is so weird. I just want some advice. Is our relationship salvageable? Is what I did that bad? Should we even bother, or should I just let him and Natalie do their weird, not a real couple bullcrap? Jumping down to the comment section on this one, there's one from a user called the Elusive Goose 10. It says, "He's gone, babe. He made his decision. No need to try and go back when he's made his choice about Nat and you, and he chose her. I know this sucks, but best to focus on yourself, your hobbies, your friends, and family. Find that support and you'll be okay, but it still doesn't make the pain go away. Maybe if you decide to drink, have someone sober around you. That way, you don't make bad, hasty decisions. You got this." OP responded and said, "Thank you, I needed to hear this." Another commenter down below called Katie says, "Hey OP, please do not marry this man. He and Natalie are emotionally codependent on each other. And I bet that your fiance still has romantic feelings for her, while she does not have those same feelings for him. This is the classic unrequited love BFF situation. I love you, but you don't love me, so I will pretend to be your friend until hopefully one day you realize that you're actually in love with me." Their relationship is not a platonic friendship, and it seems like his family is also holding on to the hope of them being together forever. This situation is very weird, and your fiance's reluctance to address your feelings about it in favor of his friendship with this girl is just ridiculous. If you guys do actually get married, you'll be marrying your fiance and his unrequited romantic interest, not just your fiance. Do yourself a favor and get the F out of that whole mess. OP responded and said, "He insisted his mom doesn't push for them to be together. His family is the only family she's got after the death of her family, which I get, but like, they could have not thrown it in my face so much." Oh my OP, this is a situation that you need to get out of ASAP. Oh my gosh, why are you even still there? Your fiance has slept with a woman that he's still extremely close with and spends a lot of time with. That's not a waving red flag or anything, huh? Even without that whole situation of them sleeping with each other in the past and the fact that they spend so much time together, when Natalie called your fiance and your fiance ran out the door without telling you what was going on, yep, your fiance has made their choice already. OP, you're always going to be second fiddle. Alright, let's get into OP's first update. Here we go. Alright, OP's first update is titled Update I, 26 female, am uncomfortable with the relationship between my fiance, 28 male, and his best friend and bandmate, 27 female. And I think it may have ruined our chance of being together. Hello everyone, it's me, the one from yesterday's post about my now ex-fiance. I just want to first say that I really appreciate everyone's input and suggestions. It helped me so much and gave me that push to finally address what I already knew what needed to be done. A lot of people asked for updates and a lot has happened in the last 24 hours. But the original post is locked, so I hope this is okay to post here. I've updated a few people through private messages and was told how to go about posting an update through there, so thank you everyone. Well, first off, I was angry and emotional yesterday, and I reached out to Sam, who used to date Natalie. I figured if anyone could relate to exactly what the F I was dealing with, it would be him. So we met up for some drinks. I'm not looking for a rebound type anything, just wanted someone who really understands. And holy crap, apparently he asked way more questions, and Natalie was way more open with him than Joe was with me. And it filled in some blanks, but also made things more confusing. Sam read the whole post and comments, then we started talking. First thing he clarified was the time they were sleeping together. So per Sam, they were hooking up secretly for that year, and from what Natalie told Sam, God this is tiring, it started as a way to relieve tension and boredom. The first time happened during a fight, which is so on brand for them that if I wasn't so angry, I'd laugh at that. They agreed to keep emotions out of it and just have fun. Apparently, Natalie said the Nookies was incredible because they're so close already, which is why they didn't just write it off as a one-time mistake. And then, the reason the fight that ended things happened is, Natalie was going to bring this other guy as her date with her to the party, and she made a joke like, unless you want to finally make this official, laugh out loud. And Joe's response was like, no, I can't ruin our friendship like that. Paraphrasing, maybe. So Natalie went and brought that guy with, and then Joe got drunk and tried to hurt him, so yeah. I don't know why Joe chose to leave out the details that he did. To be honest, it probably would have made me feel a little more comfortable. So he left out those details, but Natalie told Sam those details, and admitted to Sam when they broke up that no one will ever mean more to her than Joe. I effing applaud Sam for not blowing that up and letting everyone know. I'm not that nice. You guys will be proud of me. After a few drinks with Sam, I took the advice that a lot of people gave me, but instead of just sending my last post to Joe, I sent it to our entire group chat that all of our friends are on, including Joe and Natalie. And then I waited. Most people didn't respond in the chat, but I started getting a lot of private texts from friends. But after a little while, Natalie responded, and I'll just copy her response here. Emma, I was going to talk to you privately, but since you decided doing things this way was your best option, I will follow suit. 1. Joe is just average. This is how you talk about a man you are supposed to love, especially considering he is not just average. 2. I had to talk Joe out of joining her, and it meant he missed out on a great opportunity just to appease you and your concerns. I even tried to invite you to come with us on the tour. You also mentioned him getting a real job and are rude about his talent. You have never supported him. 3. Yeah, you came to one of our performances the whole time and hated that song, and we stopped playing it even though you never came to another one. 4. I am sorry you didn't know the details of our friendship. I have tried to include you and befriend you and build a relationship with you, but you were too jealous to accept my effort. But maybe we could have talked about things and made you feel comfortable. You didn't even like to hear him talk about me. You also made the implication I did something drastic to get his attention to make him come out here, and that is cruel considering circumstances. I wish I would have been around more so I would have realized sooner that he deserves so much better than you. I was honestly shocked to get that response, and I was wondering why the heck she didn't address the important stuff, like being in love, or the fact they've had nookies. But anyways, chaos kinda broke out in the chat after that, and I didn't respond with anything, just sat back and watched it all blow up. Well, Joe called me a little while after that and assured me he was alone. He was crying and apologizing to me, but not like begging for me back at all. He basically confirmed what I thought and everyone else was saying. He was apologizing for hurting me and straight up admitted he's totally in love with her and has been forever. They were even each other's first kiss. I told him I know she wanted a relationship with him, Sam told me, so what the F was he doing with me? He said he didn't realize the extent of her feelings for him, thought it was just because the nookies was good. He didn't want to admit he was madly in love with her, and basically he was worried that if they tried a relationship and things ended badly because she realized she could do better, their friendship would be ruined. He said their friendship was important enough to him that he'd prefer being quietly in love with her forever to trying something and ruining it. And that's kinda where I came in, I guess. He says he was in major denial about his feelings for her, and he hoped it would be easier to have her as just a friend if he tried to put his energy into a different relationship. I cried and yelled a lot and called him a lot of names. I'm still shaking. He admitted it was a horrible thing to do to me and says he never wanted to hurt me. Basically, he's insecure, and it caused this whole effing crapstorm. Obviously, things are completely done. From what it sounds like, with Joe saying he didn't realize the extent of her feelings, it sure sounds like he does now. So maybe seeing this post made her fess up. Good for them, I guess. I effing hate both of them, and I hope they make each other insane. I've thrown out a lot of his crap, and instead of giving the ring back, I'm gonna go sell it and do something fun. OP added an edit down below. It says, edit, a lot of people are calling them cheaters, but I would like to clear up that I'm 99.9% sure neither of them cheated on anyone, aside from their constant emotional affair. Some of my wording might be confusing and I apologize. I've calmed down a bit and I'm pretty worried about Natalie, to be honest. I feel like they're going to be together and he's going to be all crazy and controlling and things are going to get really messy. The emotions with these two are way too dramatic. She's so love-struck and blinded by his admission of his feelings that she's going to defend him to the end. Poor girl. Jumping down in the comment section on this one, there's one from a user called Glow427. It says, good on you, OP, for getting out of this toxic cesspool of a relationship. Your ex is pathetic. And I'm sure if Natalie and he do make it official, it will be a train wreck due to his insecurities and her delusions. Best wishes. OP responded and said, can't wait to hear about the divorce. Another commenter down below called Jimothy Goldenface says, did the other friends say anything? Did any of them ever acknowledge how crappy the two of them were being in all of this? OP responded and said, yes, there was a lot of gotcha texts flying and quite a bit of name calling. Joe stayed out of it completely, but Natalie went on a rampage defending herself and Joe. No one had any idea, and they were effing called out for it. I feel so validated, to be honest. Natalie has always been really nice too, at least it seemed like it, but then she just freaked out and everyone gets to see it now. I stand by my comment that Joe was just playing with your feelings. He wanted to be with somebody else the whole time. He wasn't putting the complete effort into your relationship, and you, OP, were never going to come first. You would always be the second fiddle. I think OP has a bit of a short fuse though, because dropping all that into their group chat with all their friends and whatnot, that was pretty petty. I mean, it got the job done, but definitely not the way that I would have done it. Alright, after that update, OP made a post in Surviving Infidelity. Let's go there now. This one's titled, My Ex-Fiance Had a Long Emotional Affair That Started Before We Met. Hi there Reddit, I previously came to this site for advice when I discovered uncomfortable truths about my ex, and we broke up about a week ago. If anyone is curious, feel free to look at my post history, but it's a lot to read. Basically, his gorgeous best friend, adopted sister, bandmate, and him are madly in love. I ignored the signs and red flags that popped up constantly until I couldn't anymore, and he finally admitted his feelings for her after keeping them repressed since they were teenagers. I'm not sure what I'm posting for now. I'm a little drunk and really sad and angry, and most of my friend group were friends with them first. And after the initial drama, most of those friends have already switched to thinking it's about time they're finally together. My family isn't too supportive, not in a bad way, that's just the nature of my family. We get uncomfortable talking about emotional things, which is probably why I willfully ignored the issues with my fiance, to be honest. I'm at a loss. He hasn't even picked up his stuff yet. I've been drinking and crying and obsessing over every detail of this whole effed up situation. I feel like an idiot. Why did I stay for so long when he always put her before me? Why didn't I see what everyone else apparently did? He was just with me because he thought it would help him move past his feelings for her. I feel so used and unloved. I do have plans to get into therapy for multiple reasons. What do I do? I know it's only been a few days, but when does this start to not hurt so badly? I loved him so much, even when he flew out to her and abandoned me because she needed him. When I got upset and we fought, I still thought, how do I fix this? I'd be lying if I said I hadn't considered calling him, but it wouldn't do any good. Now that he has her, he'll never let her go. Not even that I want him back, I just don't know. I've never gone through this. There's an actual aching in my chest, and I know the drinking is bad. I don't know. I'm so effing hurt. Jumping down to the comment section on this one, there's one from a user called Belf17. It says, first, don't drink. It will make you more depressed. Second, distract yourself with positive stuff. Go out with real friends, meet new people, try new things, watch a good series or movies, go do some physical activity. Seriously, it's better than most antidepressants. Third, accept the pain, accept the loss, accept that you got no choice but to move on. Acceptance is key to moving on. It doesn't mean that you forgive or that it's okay, but you need to accept reality to face it. If you're face to face with a bear, you can't ignore reality, you got to accept it and face it. Here, the bear is betrayal, sadness, etc. OP responded and said, thank you. I know the drinking isn't great, just wanted to numb the feelings a little, but you're right, it's made it worse. Speaking of, does anyone have any good series or movies for a distraction, like something without plots about love and whatnot? I'm exhausted. I can't deal with that crap right now. I tried to watch Knives Out for the first time, and there was the stuff about the affair, and I shut it off, to be honest. Another commenter down below with a whole bunch of numbers said, this may not be easy to hear at this time, but you dodged a bullet here. Think of it this way. Anyone who was with him did not stand a chance up against her. And it was not that you are not good enough. His problem was that he wasn't honest with himself. How could he be honest with anyone else if he couldn't admit it to himself? So again, that was not your fault either. Imagine yourself married to this partner years down the road and then you found out. I'm not sure how much time you invested in your relationship. I don't think you said. But honestly, until we meet the ones, yes, there are multiple people out there for us, everything and everyone else is practice. Grieve, clean yourself up, and concentrate on making yourself happy. Nothing is more attractive than a self-reliant person, and you will get there. He was practice for you. It will hurt a bit for a while, but don't dwell on it, and when you do, we are here. Be well, it gets better if you let it. OP responded and said, it was about 2 years that we were together, which doesn't seem that long, but I moved to a new state all by myself, and he was one of the first people I met, first guy I lived with, etc. It just feels like a really important time in my life that was wasted. I'm really struggling to not view it as wasted time, and instead as a lesson learned. Mostly, I feel like such an idiot. The signs were all there and just screaming at me. They made jokes about being like a married couple without the nookies. Then I found out they had nookies. Before we met, I should say, I don't think there was physical cheating at all, just a hardcore emotional affair. OP, now is the time of healing. Now is the time to figure out what you want out of life, because life has definitely changed. You need to not think about them anymore. Try to put them out of your mind as much as you can, because you can't change anything there, and you have to put it in the past. OP updated again, let's jump into that now. Alright, OP posted this one in true off my chest. It says, "Hope you're happy after ruining my life." All that for nothing. My life is in shambles, and they're going off to elope. I didn't even do anything effing wrong. I was devastated after my fiance left and missed some work, and then I lost my job. My friends have abandoned me. I'm about to move back home. I moved out here for nothing. I moved out here so he could use me to realize how in love with her he is. I heard they're running away to elope. I hope they effing die. Jumping down to the comment section on this one, there's one from a user called Long Jumping Agency 245. It says, "You dodged a bullet. You may not think so right now, but you will come to realize you have. Pick yourself up and take one day at a time. It will get better." Another commenter on this one called Snarfblat in Concert. It says, "I'm really sorry you're going through all of this. Losing all of your support network after a breakup is horrible. Been there. The upside is people who are there for you due to your relationship with someone else are not people you want around forever or in crises. Leaving a place you wanted to go, where you wanted to establish yourself, is tough. It's not that you can never go back, but you'll need to decide where is the environment for you for work, hobbies, lifestyle, and connections. Going home might feel like losing, but it's as permanent or temporary as you want. You set yourself in a new place once before, which is hard. You can do it again. Finding the job, the place to live. You can find activities you enjoy, and formal and informal networks to tap into, and find acquaintances and people who might be the kind of committed friends you need. And if you decide to do all those things near where you grew up, that's not losing or giving up. Right now, the most important thing is taking care of yourself. You'll get there." So that was a quick update of OP kind of breaking down. Very short update, and OP did leave another one, so let's jump into the final update now. Alright, this update is called, "Hi everyone, it's me, 27 female, the girl from last year whose fiance, 29 male, was in love with his best friend and bandmate. Hi everyone, I'm sure some of you remember my original post. I don't know if anyone cares, but with the new year, it had me thinking about 2023 and everything, and thought I would post an update. To be honest, I kinda spiraled after everything that happened and did some stupid things. But I moved back home and started working on myself, and I'm doing a lot better. I realized I should avoid relationships for a while probably, and that's been going good for me to focus on myself. Realized a lot of things about my identity and sexuality and what I want in life. I realized I had to be kinda screwed up to put up with everything I went through. I'm planning on maybe going back to school this year to finish my degree. I asked some old mutual friends since they're not on any social media. Joe and Natalie are good apparently. They got married and moved back to Ireland, and Natalie has a nice fancy job now at Joe's family's company. And he's doing some crap like, I don't know, teaching horse riding or archery or something, and they bought a house. So he's still slacking and relying on her success. Just like when he coasted off her skills in music. And for some reason, she's okay with it. One of our friends made a joke about him being a trophy husband, which is laughable when she should be the trophy, but whatever. That's life, I guess. Sometimes crappy people get happy endings. Jumping down to the comment section on this one, there's one from a user called Beyond Able Crip. It says, "I'm sorry that happened to you, but you have to try and move on. I know you're trying, but the post shows you're still stuck in what he's doing. I would block all of his and her social media and seriously work towards getting over it and moving on with my life. I truly wish you the best. Yes, people suck, and sadly, karma isn't instant, but I do believe in it and have witnessed it. Worry about taking care of you. Another commenter down below called Soup for Thou Fam says, girl, you're gonna be okay. You dodged a bullet and you know it. If it helps, I regained some of my own mojo back by focusing on how wonderfully fun and funny the whole RuPaul's Drag Race franchise could be. It's drama, creativity, comedy, and nothing too serious, and it's joyous. I notice a hint of bitter notes there in your post, and that's fine. That's perfectly normal, and there's nothing wrong with that. You're human, you'll bounce back higher and better. OP responded to this one and said, I've been mostly better. I haven't thought about them as much lately. The holidays and New Year mostly brought it all up. Thank you. Well, it sounds like OP's trying to get over it, but it's still not happening. I do have an interesting turn for the end of this video though. We have a response from Natalie. Let's get into that now. Alright, this is a comment on the post we just read. It's from a user called AnnualOrchid919 and it says, this is Natalie. My friend sent me a link to this post and I made an account just to feed the trolls and help boredom. I'm not going to share all the details of my life with the world here. She's done a good job already with that. But reading this all over again has me fired up. You have a very unreliable narrator on your hands, and I don't feel the need to justify every little comment that's been made, as people will likely make assumptions about my bias as well. But, well, 1. Joe isn't slacking and coasting off my success, and never did. I'm not sure why she keeps saying that. He put in as much effort and talent into our music as I did, not to mention being my inspiration and constant support. We still do play. It's not like he forced me into some nepo baby office job I hate. I have explored my hobbies. I have found what I'm good at and what I like. I really enjoy my job at the company, and it puts my skills to good use. Joe is not slacking. This is the same mentality she used to have, that unless someone is wearing a tie and going to meetings all day, it's not a real job, says the barista. I don't care that she's a barista, just an ironic note. I love seeing him happy and working outdoors like he always wanted. I love being a boss bee. 2. Lots of confusion about my childhood. My parents died in an accident when I was 17, nearly 18. Yes, I have other family. I'm not as close to them. I chose to stay with my true support system after that, and they have always been there for me. 3. I made attempts throughout their relationship to be friends with her. I tried to reach out after everything, even after the group chat, the post, etc., to see how she was doing and if she wanted to talk, and I'd answer anything. He agreed too. And she basically screamed threats at Joe and me and awful things, so I decided never mind. 4. We're child-free. Lots of weird comments wishing regret and misery, and 3 kids on me, and heaps of drama. I'm not a dramatic person. That's why I didn't run to defend myself previously, or stir things up by sharing all the things OP has said and done. All I wanted is what I have now, living near my, Joe's family again, with happy pets and a happy husband. Frankly, it's no one's business, but reading some comments here made me defensive about the man I love. 5. Our wedding was perfect. It wasn't really eloping like she says. We went home and had a quiet wedding with about 20 people near a lake in Ireland we spent time at together as kids. It was perfect and beautiful and everything I wanted. Cheers. I really wasn't expecting to hear from the other side of this story at the end of all the updates, and I'm really glad we did, because it kind of clears up some things about OP, but also about Natalie as well. It honestly sounds like Natalie isn't that bad of a person, and you know what? I hope their marriage is going really well. OP, I think there's some things that were left unsaid in all the things that you wrote. I'm not gonna write you off completely, but as we can see from Natalie talking, there's definitely 2 sides to every story. Alright, everybody listening and watching this on YouTube, please comment down below your thoughts on this story. This was a bit of a roller coaster with a twist at the end that we never get in other stories. Let me know what you thought. Everybody have a wonderful day, and we'll see you in the next one.